Hi. Here's a story real quick. I'm getting ready to run into this jeweler here. Let's start from the very beginning. This is going to be quite a story, and then I will just keep adding to it as I know things. So anyway, just want to share this with you. Here we go. Okay, so many of you know my mother passed away December 10th. And it's been rough and so forth, but we are all getting through it the best we can. Well, about 10 years ago, my mom and I were talking about things, and she was deciding like items that she would eventually would end up being belonging to my daughters that were hers, pieces of jewelry and so forth, and what my sister would get, what I would get, blah, blah, blah. And so she asked me, like, was there anything specific that I would really love? And I said, well, the one piece of jewelry that reminds me so much of you is your garnet ring. Garnet is her birthstone. Her birthday would have been January 20th. And so she's barely a Capricorn, moving into Aquarius, but anyway, garnet's her birthstone, and she had this beautiful ring. It was so simple and just so plain. I loved it. It was a square, like a princess cut garnet, very deep dark red, with a very simple, plain, like a basket, I believe they call it a basket cut, whatever, setting. And in gold, 14 karat gold. And she wore that all the time in my childhood. I cannot find a picture though from my childhood that shows that ring well enough to actually see it. I mean, I can tell she's wearing it in pictures, but the pictures from the 70s and so forth, just, the photos. Not great quality. So not like you can zoom into them either. So anyway, not easy. So I've been racking my brain. I feel like I picture it and I know it exactly. I asked my sister what she thought. She agreed with what I was thinking. So anyway, I am trying to see if I can have these people design it for me. So we're searching for a garnet in the correct size right now. That's either already cut in that cut, which isn't a very normal cut for a garnet. But yeah, in the right size and so forth. And then we'll put it into a setting and see if we can just replicate that ring, because, forgot to say, my mom no longer had that ring. When I told her that's the one that I just really, that's the one piece that reminds me so much of her, she said, darn it. She, let someone borrow it, a lovely relative of ours. And their house was broken into and it was stolen along with all the other things in the person's jewelry box. So anyway, that is gone. So I'm trying to replicate it because I would love to just have that. It always makes me think of my mom, and I love that ring. So I'm just going to try to replicate it the best I can. So I went to this jewelry store, so nice, and they said definitely they would try to see what they could do to replicate it. And the size I think I was needing was like an 11 millimeter square. Which is kind of a large stone. And now I'm thinking it needs to be a little bit less than that. But to get the 11 millimeter, we found a guy in New York who had 2 uncut garnets that would be able to be cut to that size. And he was going to send them, and let me choose the color, what I liked, and then we'd figure out the sizing for the setting. So anyway, but I think now that I look at it, because I have this ring that I found in my jewelry box with a sort of a square cut, with a little different type of thing. I hope I can see that ring at all. Anyway, I think that's bigger than it should be. I don't think it should be that big. So I think we're gonna have to go with a smaller. Now that I see this on my finger, it looks too big. Doesn't look like hers. I wanna just try to replicate hers exactly, the best I can. So they have several garnets that they had brought in from other places for me to go take a look at. So I'm going to look at size and color right now, and hopefully we can figure this out and I won't have to have someone actually cut one to that, to the right specifications. Anyway, that's the plan. So that's what I'm going to go in to do right now and just see. Plus I have 2 items that I have being repaired there. So gotta pick those up also. Let's go. So I did that. I'm home now. And let's see, where do we start? First of all, the necklaces that they repaired for me, they did a beautiful job, which is great. So now I have those back again, which is really good. Let's see. So basically there were 3 different garnets that they brought in of sort of the right size, that kind of thing, to sort of get an idea. One of them was more of a cushion cut type of a thing with a kind of a checkerboard faceting, which I definitely don't want because my mother's ring, I'm trying to replicate it, okay? Whether it's the perfect thing ever, you know, according to the way it's cut or whatever, and the facets doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is it looks as close to hers as possible. And hers was like a princess cut / step cut square stone, and it had it was very, very dark, like a deep, deep, deep dark red garnet. And so we're trying to find that. The ones that they brought in either weren't cut the right way or yeah. So now we know what we're looking for. She has another person she's going to look into having them send a few things. We know what color, we know the general size. We think probably an 8 or 9 millimeter is what we're looking for. I think that'd be about best. And then we're going to have to order in just like the ring part and then the basket, you know, the setting part separately. And then they'll be putting those together. You know, the jeweler will be putting it together to kind of custom make it exactly the way I remember it, which was very simple, very plain, thick-ish kind of a gold. It was a heftier type. It wasn't very dainty. The gold wasn't, and the garnet set down. It wasn't real tall and high, you know, and the prongs went just on the corners only. So I know exactly what it looks like. I totally have it pictured. I went to one website where you can kind of design a ring, and I found one that I kind of designed it to look as close as I can remember to what her ring looked like, given the options that I had with this site. So that helped too. I'll show you which one I found, but this color is all wrong of the garnet for this one. But generally, that's kind of what the setting looked like, very much so, except for it was further down. It was closer to the hand, which I'm not sure how to go about that, but we're working on it. So I have all sorts of ideas and things that we're, you know, trying to figure out how to make it work, and she's bringing in more garnet. So I'll be going in again probably either the end of this week, well, no, next week, because this is already the end of the week, to take another look. But in the meantime, I'm still trying to search for pictures and photos where she might be wearing it and I can see it. And so far, it's just the picture qualities just aren't good enough, you know, to be able to see into the 1970s and 80s photos that well. So anyway, that's how that's working out. So I'm very excited about it. It's a fun project. Hopefully we can find just the right stone and finagle a ring and, you know, setting that works for it. So it'll be real nice to have something that just reminds me of her all the time and is just totally her. So anyway, that's the plan. Just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much for joining me as always. Love you to pieces. Bye.